Hey, Liza here. We've got a retro episode for you. And this is going way back about 10 years to one of my favorites. And this was originally called It's All in the Design. This interview is with a local guy by the name of Darrin Caddes. And he was the original designer at BMW for the GSA. Yeah, that's right. The Adventure GS. It's a great story, and it was the first time we got to talk to a designer about the process of designing and getting something approved and then actually, out into the world. And what's interesting is he's of this generation where he was still working with clay and drawing and tape and sculpting. And now they've pretty much gone to 3D printing everything. It's amazing how much the industry has changed in just this amount of time. But Darrin's got a great, great story, and there's so much to it. And in fact, he never got to ride the bike that he designed or any after that. It's a fascinating story. So give a listen to this episode. Hope you enjoy. Hey there, welcome to Motorcycles and Misfits at the Recycle Garage in sunny Santa Cruz. No, yesterday was a little sketchy, but today, sunny again.
Oh, it was sketchy. We must have had half an inch of rain yesterday. It was sketchy.
It was sunny too, but it was just raining. So.
Did you guys see that giant rainbow?
Nope. Was that a double rainbow?
A full rainbow.
All the way across the sky?
Well, I drove up to San Francisco last night, and there was crazy lightning storms around the airport.
Wow.
It was crazy. So let's do a roll call tonight. In the garage, we have Douglas.
Yeah, I'm here.
This is Liza. We also have Knox.
Yes.
Jim.
Hello.
Josh.
Hey.
Zach.
Hey.
Darrin.
I'm in.
And Bagel. So, we got a lot to talk about tonight, and I've been excited about this night too. So, let's get to what we did today. Bagel, you did something today or this weekend?
Yeah. Well, I finally got my Vespa GTS 300 back after about 3 months of not having it.
Was this the Cannonball destroyed one?
No, the Cannonball bike is still in my garage on the lift. Haven't gotten to that yet. But this is my daily rider that blew a head gasket at the end of November, and headed over to friends. He was going to work on it, and then he got injured and had to recover from that. So thankfully, he got it all back together, and it's running great. And did 100 miles of rotational therapy today, and was very, very good.
Nice. And then you have a motor here to start working on.
I do. I have the original motor from my Bajaj scooter here, which I need to replace the rear axle on. The spline sheared off when the hub came loose, and so I got to take the whole engine apart to replace the axle and get that back together, and then slap it back in the bike and get it ready to sell.
So what's your running to non-running count now?
Right now, the running to non-running is 3 to 7.
Whoa.
That's moving on up.
May the odds are not in your favor.
Ouch.
Yep. It's getting better.
I think I am 4 running to 7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're a little better than me.
7 not running.
I'm 5 for 6, I think. 5 or 6 right now.
Before we go on, can we say that
now.
somebody just patchouli bombed the shit out of you?
Yeah, it's taking all my willpower to remain seated here and not go outside.
Yeah, somebody came in and patchouli bombed this.
I don't know if this was a prank or it just happened, but yes, somebody patchouli bombed the garage, which...
This has to be a prank. I mean, it can't be this strong and linked.
I mean, if you want, there's a can of WD-40. We can kind of try and cover it up.
Put a little bit on our wrists and neck.
Yeah. Spray it around the door frame. Hopefully
that'll cleaner up your nose.
I don't know. I feel kind of violated.
Totally.
Yeah, dude. I hate many smells, but this one takes the cake on smells that just feels like you got to get out of it. I don't know.
I feel a little bad that Eva hasn't been here for like a year, and she came by to visit, and I immediately accused her. Are you wearing patchouli?
It's like someone squeezed and popped a hippie in here.
We had a hippie explosion. in
Well,
here.
if all else fails, we can fumigate the garage with some exhaust, and hopefully that'll take care of it.
So, Jake and Adrian and I worked on the faded XL 175 again. That still has no spark, and we literally took the headlight off and we started stripping down the entire wiring harness, and then of course Jim here shows up, and kind of in a matter of about 30 seconds with his fancy $800 whatever multimeter narrows it down to a washer that a insulating washer that we put on in the wrong order to something and
miswired point assembly.
So it's solved.
It has spark.
It has spark.
Sweet.
Sweet.
Now it's going to take a couple days to put it back together. All this stuff we stripped apart.
You need to come by more often.
Yeah.
No more going like 3 months without coming here.
I'm learning to bring my meter with me.
but I appreciate that because
toolbox too.
the whole point is that we all
10
kind of
millimeters.
persevere and learn about the system, and that is the perfect bike for just tearing apart to learn how things work.
Yes.
So I'm glad that will be running soon. And then Josh, what'd you do today? Or
Well, I just pumped up my tire and and I sort of like redid the front axle because I didn't quite do it in the right sequence. So
this is on your new bike?
yeah, I just got a new 2007 KTM 690 Supermoto. Yep.
You haven't crashed it yet.
Not yet.
He was doing the
it's pretty
on
sim-
there pretty good, man.
Yeah.
Finally got it down, huh?
Nah, I wouldn't say down, but
Well,
You'll get there.
we were riding down to Capitola, and we were just scooting around a little bit, and I saw Josh go, all right, I'm going to do it this time. He get his foot on the seat, and he hoists one, and he's like, all right, he's got to go in there.
yeah. And then knocked up the cops.
You ran it. It was a weird story because I landed one. Oh, this is so stupid.
You ran a red light and then dipped out and left us all there at the first red light.
I don't think
Like, way to stop.
There was a
asshole.
lot of traffic.
He didn't see me. I hoisted a wheelie across the intersection, and I landed one. The moment I landed one, I see highway patrol. I'm like, this is dumb. So of course, like an animal, like a scared animal, we stop. I go, oh, he's probably gonna turn around and give me a ticket. And the light had just turned red, and it was clear. And I went, all right, fuck it, I'm just going. And that was. It was so
And like
stupid.
no looking back either.
No,
the rest of it
so
stopped.
dumb. It
There
was
was no looking back.
Instead
And we
of
went down there.
leave no man behind us, leave every man behind.
Every motherfucker behind.
I have friends that are rolling roadblocks for me.
Every man for themselves.
It was dumb. It was totally stupid, but yeah.
And then I get home and I get a text like, "Where'd you guys go?" Like, way to stop, asshole! Like,
Did you guys have a good ride?
And then Zach, you worked today on the CB900C building a battery box.
I did, yeah. I worked on building the battery box.
So you're learning. Have you worked with the stainless before?
Yeah.
So you got cut out pieces of stainless to make a box.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to weld it together?
Yeah, right now it's set up. I'm trying to think about...
Are you aware that we don't have the ability to weld stainless?
No, I wasn't aware of that.
you can use that welder for stainless.
Yeah.
Steel and stainless will weld together.
I did use that welder for stainless and it worked.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to that battery fit is super tight. So I'm trying to think of how do I build this thing so you can take the battery out and have it not be a gigantic pain in the ass.
How do you like those electric shears?
They were good. They did make the pieces kind of come out twisted.
You didn't use the jigsaw like I suggested.
I didn't because I couldn't find a good surface to clamp them to, and Craig was on that bench for like 3 or 4 hours. So, and I kind of needed to cut them right then.
Gotcha.
So
Could have taken it to Allen's.
You guys need some
Yeah.
portable
Yeah.
benches out here.
Yeah. So I wanted
We'll store them at your
Supper.
place.
to share. I got a very early start today because I told Craig to come on down at 10 a.m. because he needed to change out his fork seals on his. I now learned it's a Gixxer 600.
Uh huh.
I hope
frame-
he, I
the
hope he
frame's at
doesn't listen to this podcast. So
It could be.
bless his little heart. Douglas and I learned you cannot leave him unmonitored for very long.
Every time I'd go and come back, he'd be like, "I think I fucked it up."
I also learned he would fight me on things where I'd tell him specifically to do something, and then he was like, I don't think we need to. For instance, we don't have a lift for his bike. So we use the method of using the jack stands, and you put one under one side of the engine case, you rock the bike over, stick another one on the other side, and then you keep rocking it back and forth, ratcheting it up one bump at a time. So he had already started disassembling everything and had the top triple tree and the handlebars off. And I said, so I need you to put the triple and the handlebars back on so we have leverage to grab. He goes, I don't think we need to. I think we can just grab the forks.
You had the top tree off to pull the forks out?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's got a weird Street
that was
Fighter
mistake
setup.
number one. Yeah.
So it's like, no, go ahead and put it. No, I think we'll be okay. It's like, okay, he's going to fight me on this stuff. Then we finally, kind of insisted he put them on so we had something to grab. And then he realized how we are like holding the bike and one person is like leaning over, pulling the bike up, and it takes all the leverage you can on the bar. So he was like, all right, you were right. And then the other thing is we were having trouble getting his axle out. And his axle on that Gixxer has this very large diameter Allen insert into it.
It's like a 24 millimeter Allen.
Yes.
Huge.
Of which we have no tool to fit. And he's on the internet looking for looking at videos of people taking these apart. Meanwhile, I come in the shop and I say, take a look in the bucket of bolts and see if you can find a nut or a bolt that happens to fit that. But he was so just like wrapped in his head of failure and doom and gloom, and this is not working. He wasn't hearing anything I was saying. So I just reached down in, pulled out a couple nuts, went out there, found the one that fit, fitted it to an old axle, built the tool in front of him. He's still unawares.
We welded the nuts to that axle, and then it fit well.
And he's like over the bike scratching his head, and he's like ready to give up. And I just walk up with this tool that I said, I just told you how to do this, but you weren't hearing anything I said. Fit it in, and that eventually worked. And he's like, okay, I'll start listening now.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was just kind of jumping ahead into stuff, and I'd hear him. He's trying to take the forks apart, and I heard him like banging on something with a hammer, and I come running in.
Oh, you know what?
Stop! You should not be banging at this point.
What happened was the assembly bolt that holds the damper rod on the bottom, that thing was kind of stuck. I took it in there and I tapped it in there to get it nice and seated and broke it loose for him because he was using the impact gun and it wasn't working and it just wasn't enough torque. And I told him,
that was after, but that was after we had to make a tool to fit.
Oh, this is okay.
Do all that.
Yeah, of
which he was pounding and trying to get the whole innards of the forks out, not knowing there's a bolt underneath.
Yeah,
and he was like banging, and I was just like, okay, just stop! Don't like. There should be no banging. He was
Not
getting
yet.
very frustrated, and that's my opportunity to be a little bit crueler. Of which I seized those
Good
moments in front of his girlfriend. That was nice. And at one point, he's getting horribly frustrated with things. And she's like, honey, do you need some food? You don't think very well when you're hungry. And I turned to her and I said, does he think any better when he's full? And he was like, no, not really. I'm like, so get back to work.
That's a good girlfriend.
Yeah, it's right in front of his hot girlfriend. Man, that's.
But he got it done.
Yeah,
it was there, and it was a lesson in finding the right tool. He was that guy who, when he was trying to get that bolt out of the bottom of the fork set, first he was using just a regular Allen wrench and vice grip, and he's that type of guy who will just keep trying the same thing over and over, even though the Allen was stripping and starting to pop out, and he just kept trying over and over. And I stop. If you have to put that much effort into something, stop, find another tool, find another way, move on. It should never be that hard.
Yeah.
Because then we got the T Allen wrench, and he was like turning red in the face trying to, with just a T wrench, twist it. I'm like, okay, stop again. And we finally took an old L wrench, cut it off.
Yep, I had to
fitted it to an 8 millimeter socket so you could put a wrench on there. We just fabricated tools for him all day. That was his lesson learned: is it shouldn't be that hard. And if it is that difficult, stop and figure out another way to make a tool if you don't have
I made the same exact tool to service my FRI forks because those little L wrenches just aren't going to do it.
Yeah. There was also some coin slotting going on today.
I wore an extra long sleeve.
Adrian
extra long shape
Ninja coin slotted mat. Adrian snuck up. So Darrin, coin sliding, and somebody's leaning over.
I think I
dropped the penny
figured that out. Yeah.
So Adrian goes over to Matt, sneaks up, drops it in. Matt's unaware. I yell, coin slide! And Matt turns to me, what? I said, I love my taco! And he went back to work. And apparently he still has a penny in his toilet from the last time he got coin slotted in the toilet, the wishing well. Yeah, exactly.
He'll find it when he takes a shower tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then there was another little prank. I tried to bring something new to the game, and I found this baby little cowbell that Donut showed up, and he was the first one to leave his bike unattended. Zach, you were the intended all day, but you didn't leave, just so you know.
Okay.
You get a stay of execution a day. So he left, and we get up in underneath the seat attached to the top of the shock, and we zip tied a cowbell up there, and eventually he got his bike up on a stand, and we were rocking it back and forth to make sure it's stable, and it goes conk, conk.
Yeah.
He's like, what was that? I went, dude, that does not sound good. There's something majorly wrong with your bike.
He was just kind of like,
Yeah.
He doesn't know. He doesn't really care.
He had a couple seconds of sweating. The thing is, and Darrin, you heard this, when he rode away, his bike was making a hell of a rattle, and that was from nothing we put on. I'm thinking, even if we left the cowbell on, he would have known there's something going on with that bike.
Yeah.
It's making a racket.
Funny thing is that we went and got lunch together, and he was like, man, I don't know, put this cowbell on, man, it's really freaking me out. You weren't in on that, were you? And I was like, no, I was the one that put that on there.
Anyone else got anything they want to cover they did today? Doug?
Just miscellaneous painting and a couple bikes and getting a bike ready to sell. And
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Can we just say real quickly about those details of the guy who came to look at your bike for sale? So
go ahead.
Douglas has on Craigslist a CB400T. What do you have it listed as, a cafe?
It's not a cafe. It's just a custom
CB400T
hacked up
custom
weekend cruiser thing.
Bobbed cafe thingy with Clemens. And this large man, larger than me,
He's like 6'3", not fat, but just big,
large man, and to look at the bike, and he brought a buddy with him. the buddy who rides. And I could see his buddy walked over and said, that's it. And he rolled his eyes and looked away. I was like, oh, here we go.
He wanted something for around town, but also to tour on. I'm like, did you not see the photos that you replied to? It's a 400.
Yeah.
Not even close.
1981.
Tour Westcliff if you want.
Yeah. He got on the thing and the handlebars were hitting his knees. He couldn't even turn the thing around.
Like a football thing.
Yeah, pretty much. So it was. I could tell he liked the way it looked, even though he didn't admit it. But I probably wasn't going to sell it to him anyway. I don't know. It's going to take the right person to want to do upkeep and just take it out and appreciate it for the dumpy piece of cool looking shit it is.
Hipster, you mean?
Don't you dare. I'm not the one with patchouli fucking in my garage.
He's so angry. His face got so visibly angry. He said patchouli.
All right. Anyone?
That bike has been around since before hipsters. All right.
What'd you do, now?
I helped Craig with his forks, and I wired a kill switch to Mason's bike and helped him start out his lights. And that's it.
Mason has a pull chain light switch on his bike.
It's the coolest thing ever. Yeah. It's like click,
it's a lamp.
Yeah.
Like a table lamp.
I'll go ahead and claim responsibility for that lamp.
Darrin, this is the recycle way. We use whatever we can.
I hope he's not planning on riding it in the rain.
Yeah. Right. Doesn't have a choice.
Yeah. No, it looks relatively waterproof. Relatively.
Put a plastic bag over it or something.
I don't know about that.
Hey, who wants to play a game?
Oh, no.
Do you want to play a game?
Everyone's looking around. Who am I looking at? Josh,
who's the victim now?
Let's play a game of how well do you know your bike? Bagel edition.
Gotcha, bitch.
Wait.
You can't know the answer.
You put bike here.
Yes. I know.
Oh, that's typo.
We're giving it.
Typo.
Scooters have two wheels. They are by definition bicycles.
Bicycle.
You seem pretty knowledgeable about your scooters.
I know a thing or two.
Well, let's see how you do.
All right.
As
so we got Bagel versus the Peanut Gallery.
Bagel versus the Peanut Gallery.
I'll keep score.
All right.
There's a couple gimmies in here. So,
okay.
So, what does Vespa mean in Italian?
It means wasp in Italian.
That is correct. Point to Bagel. Who makes the Vespa scooter?
Piaggio.
Point to Bagel, too. I didn't realize.
Those are gimmies, man.
Gimmies.
Come on.
Yep.
Come on.
It's a Cracker Jack question.
We got to cover some of the basics. I didn't know Piaggio made Vespa. I thought Vespa was Vespa.
Intro.
Yep.
I thought that was interesting.
Of course, you don't know.
So-
They've also made boats and trains and planes.
Okay, that means he's going to get this whole thing right. He just
Well-
knows right now.
What year was Piaggio founded?
They were founded.
I didn't know they were missing.
I would.
Got lost in some time.
They got founded,
I
don't they?
I want to say somewhere around 1896, thereabouts.
All right, I'm going to give somebody in the peanut gallery a chance to see if they get any closer. If that's the closest, I'll give it to you. Who wants to take a shot?
1890.
1850.
$1.
And what did you say?
1896.
1884. I'd say point to the peanut gallery.
Ding, ding, ding.
Wow.
Right.
Okay, so
All right, sorry, my involvement doesn't go back with them quite that far.
this is a multiple choice question.
All right.
So, what products did they originally manufacture? A, cast iron pots and pans. B, aircraft and engines. C, bicycles and baby carriages. Or D, locomotives and rail cars.
D, locomotives and rail cars.
That is correct.
Wow, they had a locomotive rail car called a Wasp.
No, that was
No.
That was Piaggio.
Piaggio. Okay.
Piaggio. We're still on Piaggio.
Okay.
Yeah, Vespa didn't come around until 1946.
Okay,
Another
there you
point
go.
to Bagel. Another point to Bagel.
Oh.
So, in 1946, Enrico Piaggio, the son of Piaggio's founder, Rinaldo Piaggio,
Mm-hmm.
decided to address Italy's urgent need for a modern and affordable mode of transportation.
Yes, they did.
He set out to build a vehicle that could, and you will need to complete this sentence,
Okay.
be easy to drive for both men and women, be able to carry a passenger, and... Ooh.
And
Yeah, this was kind of his goal, his mission.
have an enclosed motor that was not exposed.
I'm going to say no. Peanut Gallery, anyone want to take a shot at this?
Get you laid.
I don't think that was their most urgent need post-war Italy.
It's Italian engineering. Of course, it's going to get you laid. Is in there.
That'd be right in the mission
Part of
statement.
that, yeah.
So he set out to build a vehicle that could be easy to drive for both men and women, be able to carry a passenger, and...
Be affordable.
That's a good guess, too. The answer is not get the driver's clothes dirty.
I was going to mention something about the leg shield, but
Get you laid, basically.
I was going to mention something. Right.
indirectly.
See how,
indirectly.
how clean my legs are, baby?
Yeah.
You show up. So that way you show up in
you
your
like my skirt, my scooter skirt?
right. You show up in your Armani, and it's not all covered in mud.
Yeah, exactly.
So from 1957 to 1961, is this in your wheelhouse?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Piaggio sold the Vespa 400, which is a rear-engine microcar.
Indeed.
Name the two models available.
Oh, geez. I've seen maybe one of these in my entire life, and I think they were all made in France. I'm going to guess the 400 and the 400L.
Okay, no.
Okay.
Peanut Gallery, say Italian words, you might have a shot.
The ape.
No.
Nope.
Anyone
The
else?
buongiorno.
Pizza.
No. Okay, so the answer is the Lusso and the Turismo.
Okay.
What does that translate to?
Well, Lusso would be light, and the Turismo would be a touring.
Right.
Okay, so the design of the Vespa dates back to pre-World War II. What was the inspiration for the design?
Besides a wasp, you mean?
No, it was after they designed it that he said, hey, that looks like a wasp.
Ah, okay. So what was the original inspiration?
Yeah, they hired a designer, and they had a inspiration in mind. They showed him to design it.
Stupid. Trying to think of what you're trying to get at exactly. Now they call the original prototype the Il Paperino, which is the Donald Duck. That's
Right.
not what you're getting at, is it?
No, the
Okay.
original one did come out looking like a duckbill fender.
Somewhat, yeah.
But
The original inspiration. I'm at a loss.
Peanut Gallery.
Does it look like a front of a locomotive or something?
I'm actually going to give the Peanut Gallery a little advantage here. It was another type of motorcycle or scooter.
The Ducati.
No. And it was actually, all right, it was brought over for, I think, the World War by Americans
The Harley,
and left there. It was used to navigate around mines
Now I
and
know what
such.
you get. It was the parachute scooter that the American paratroopers brought with them when they landed to invade.
It was the Cushman scooter.
Cushman.
Made in Nebraska, USA.
Mhm.
The Cushmans that were brought over for the war and left there. So that
Right.
was what they modeled it after. All right, I'd say
Not aware of that.
no
That's pretty
point.
cool.
All right. In 1950, Piaggio built a one-off bike to break world records. What was this model called?
I believe you're talking about the Sei Giorni?
No.
No.
And it was actually named after it was the city or the name of the race. But it was one-off. They wanted to impress. And actually, this bike broke 17 records in 10 hours.
Wow.
What was it called, Bagel?
God. I'm sure I've heard of it before.
I'd say time out.
Yeah.
Just for giggles, let's let Knock try and pronounce it.
It is the Montleheri.
What?
Montleheri?
Montleheri. Sounds good to me.
Montleri.
Montleheri.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
I think it's Moncalieri.
There-
Is that right?
Montlhery.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know either.
They probably don't. They probably just say McClay.
But it's pretty cool that they set out to smash records. And
What if-
boy, how did they? All
Yeah.
right.
They also built a number of streamliners in the 50s too.
So you also own another brand,
I do. Several.
a Bajaj.
Bajaj.
Bajaj. So the Bajaj Group was founded in 1926.
Mm-hmm.
This is the Bajaj Group before Bajaj Auto.
Right.
So, which one of the following industries were they not involved with?
Okay.
The Bajaj Group. A, insurance. B, automobiles. C, waste management. Or D, home appliances. 1926 India. Which one of these were they not involved with?
Now, this is throughout the course of their history or just in the beginning?
In the beginning.
In the beginning.
1926.
In the beginning.
All right. So the choices were insurance,
Automobiles, waste management, home appliances. Because they were an investment group. They had their hands all over the place.
I'm going to guess waste management.
Darren, did you make a noise?
Yeah, I did.
Why? Why'd you make a noise?
I think it's automobiles.
No, it's actually waste management.
Cool.
Just seemed too abstract and not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was waste management. Yeah, home appliances, insurance.
Yeah.
They had the Bajaj Auto Group, which then started making
Right.
scooters, which became their most successful.
You want to know how I guessed that one?
How's that?
Because in 1926, I don't think anybody was cared about what they did with their waste.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just burnt it.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
I just dump it in the ocean.
Yeah.
Okay, so Bajaj Autos is ranked third in the world in motorcycle manufacturing.
Mhm.
What are they ranked first at in the world?
This year?
Sure. I think I was looking at like 2013 numbers, but sure. In the world, they're ranked first, Bajaj Autos.
In the world?
In the world.
In the world.
In terms of manufacturing numbers?
Of something. What is it?
I'm going to guess engines.
Peanut Gallery, do you want to take a shot?
Waste management.
Political drama. Italian.
Plastic manufacturing.
Stove grills. Sewer grates.
Sure, great.
3-wheel autos.
Three.
Number one
Should
in
have
the
known
world.
that.
Which, by the way, I forgot to mention. A bunch of us got to ride in a 3-wheel.
That was the
auto
next
today.
subject.
did.
You're skipping ahead.
Yeah, we'll get to that. 'Cause
Too
there's only
exciting.
one more question. What is the score?
It's
4
4 to
to
1.
1. All right, so we'll make this worth 10 points.
It's level the playing field.
Okay. What years did Bajaj sell the Vespa 150? A lot of people may not realize that Bajaj was the Vespa dealer. So, under the license of Piaggio, what years could you buy an Indian Vespa?
I believe that they made Vespas for the Indian and Asian markets from about 1959 through that they were badged as Vespas through I think 1969 or so.
So you said, what did you say?
I think it was 1959 through 69.
Does anybody else want to take a guess?
58 to 70.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with waste management.
That's a safe bet, man.
How many years total?
How many years
How many
total?
years total?
I'd say 12.
Peanut Gallo says
10.
13.
12 and a half.
Oh, wait. Josh said 10.
Oh, that counts because then we win.
1961 to 1971, 10 years. Let's say you get 5 points instead of the 10.
Still wins though.
Yeah.
That makes the score
Perfect.
Bagel.
Wait a minute. You can't change point totals at the last second.
It's my
You
game.
gave him less.
Have you been to this garage?
I got robbed, man.
We're all winners here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just something
fixed.
losers say.
Game's rigged.
All right, I think you did pretty well. You did know some of that stuff.
That's some good
You knew the trains and rail cars. I thought
Yeah.
that was really pretty cool.
So I get to ride in a slingshot today.
Yeah, we rode
was
in
pretty
a Polaris slingshot. Our
Really?
friend
The thing
Hugh.
weighs like 1,800 pounds and it's got, he said it was about 230 or 220 horsepower.
Really?
Wow.
Yikes.
220s.
Yeah. So power to weight ratio is really up there and like super low center of gravity. We just went around town, like just a quick loop. We didn't really get on it at all. So I didn't really get to see what it was capable of, but it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
One thing I did not like about it was that you're required to wear a helmet in it in California because it's technically a motorcycle.
Yeah.
You're required to wear a full face helmet and, the headrest was right there behind your head. And when you put the
Right.
helmet on, it was pushing your head forward. So it felt kind of uncomfortable. Like I felt I was in a curled up position.
The thing I thought was weird is the seatbelt goes from, when you're in the passenger seat, it goes from the middle down to the lower right. So it's the opposite.
Right.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have doors. It's actually a cutaway to step in.
It's a hard plastic or soft plastic all over the inside. So it's basically meant to get rained on and just like,
But it has
hosed
full
out. Everything's, like,
Bluetooth and everything.
waterproof.
Yeah.
So we go down the street where there's a left turn, and he basically does like a sharp 90-degree turn. He just plays chicken with the curb just to show me, and then at the last minute, just
Wow.
and because the seatbelt comes across the opposite direction, and I have a cutaway in front of me.
You have the oh shit handle right in your.
You have an oh shit handle, and I'm like, wow, like it feels like you could fly out.
Yeah, I bet.
I mean, it is a bucket seat, so you are in there, but it was a little like rah. But it was pretty cool. But Adam last week mentioned that was one of his up the butt bikes, and we'll let it qualify. But it was a fun toy. It's cool, and he said they go for about $20,000, but he got all the farkles
Of course he did.
added.
What
20
bike?
clams,
What bike
really?
did he give up before this? Because he always has the latest and greatest, and then mods the hell
He
out
still
of it
has
and then sells it.
the BMW, the R1000, the 1000S. Is that what it is?
S1000.
S1000R.
Oh, you got a super bike. Okay.
Yeah, and he has a Mini Cooper and a BMW convertible.
Nice. He's got a little bit of change.
Yep.
Yeah. So Slingshot was just fun for him.
I thought it was cool. It seemed like they could have made it lighter. It seemed like it had a lot of unnecessary body work on it.
Yeah, it was interesting. So let's get to our guest, Darrin, who's here.
Yeah, why do I got this
Well,
cool
I will
looking
tell
photo
you.
of a GS in front of me?
Darrin, I have been, I have to tell this story. I've been hunting Darrin down for a while now because I saw him speak to a small group of us years ago telling his story, his history of design. He used to design motorcycles. And I've been trying to track him down. And a couple of weeks ago, I was in a restaurant and this gentleman next to me, it's like, excuse me, can you slide your chair, please, so I can get past you? And he's in a wheelchair. And it's like, wait a minute, I know you.
I know that dude in a wheelchair.
And you kind of got that bug eye, like, what? I'm like, I'm not letting you out. And you say, you come on my podcast. So I had to pull some strings, but I got him here. So, Darrin, so you've designed motorcycles. This is something that a lot of people don't even really think about, that there's somebody who does that.
I think about that.
I think you do now.
Draw bikes on napkins.
That's where it starts.
Yeah.
So, one
Usually
of
I think,
the bikes that I would say is your proudest achievement would be the BMW GSA.
Yeah, the first one. Yeah.
And you're the one who came up with it because you
Buddy and
were an
I
adventure
were,
rider.
Yeah, I if it's got knobbies, you got my attention. Basically, I grew up in the desert riding dirt bikes, so and I was a GS rider and working for BMW and working on some other projects, working on the Cruiser and a second generation of the Cruiser concept bike, a one-up, R1200C. And
so wait a minute, you have something to do with that bike?
I did parts of that bike.
There's a lot of questions about that bike.
Yeah, and of course, and you got consider the timing and development of that bike, and BMW is looking at how huge that market was, and what the potential was for cracking that nut in North America for them.
So basically, they want to get a cruiser in the market, so they build something really weird looking.
Is that the one with the?
And you use the boxer engine, and you take the telelever, and what does that mean? How I understand why they thought that might be a good idea, but. It's like, I don't know. It's
is that the one
rewriting the Bible or something?
Is that the one with the $900 rear tail light that was like kind of expensive to replace?
I'm sure that it turned signals where the indicators were $900. I don't know, but
it basically had reclined ape hangers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
because it's such a far stretch.
Yeah,
back to the seat.
Yeah.
So they had these ape hangers. No, I know people who ride them, and technology wise, I know that it's a great bike. Design wise, it was just something that we're not used to. I was like, whoa. And traditionally, cruisers haven't really changed a ton.
No. What's interesting about that, at least from my perspective, and I think a designer's perspective, and what's beautiful about cruisers is they're raw. And they're kind of not so pretty, to be totally honest, and they require and need. I mean, in my opinion, to become interesting, requires a lot of custom work, right? You got to personalize them, and you breathe life into those as an owner, as a tinkerer, and that potential doesn't really exist with that BMW 1200C, that cruiser, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, you could buy a lot of aftermarket stuff and strap it on, but it's, they were taking the boxer engine, they were taking the paralever suspension, the telelever, and trying to make a cruiser out of it. And it was it kind of force fit a little bit.
And I jumped ahead.
And it clearly was not successful, right?
Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah.
I see them occasionally. I mean, they're
so I jumped.
Yeah, but they're not. Yeah.
Why would you put that over a GS?
Yeah.
Right.
How long ago did they stop production on that? I'm not even sure, but
but James Bond drove one.
Yeah.
I know.
I got a question. What makes a Beamer, and how does that translate from cars to bikes? Same company, they both have like the same kind of style of manufacturing, from what I can notice.
And
like, how does that?
They're all designed in the same building.
Same building, so same people, same. Okay.
Well, not the same people. So But you know what's really great? There's really only Honda and BMW that have this, where they're producing cars and motorcycles, right? At least within the same,
Not Suzuki anymore.
within right. And so you kind of benefit as a motorcycle component because there's a lot of money in the cars that can fuel it, so and keep things burning. But then sometimes you kind of have to leverage parts from automotive that starters and things like that, where they're bigger and harder to package. But anyway, it has more to do with part costs and things like that. But the teams are completely different, right? The design team is different. The engineering team is different. But hey, you get a wind tunnel
like
to
the
play
same
with.
spirit like that I see, the same, I don't know, kind of style and the spirit of
Aesthetic.
Yeah, you just know it's made by the same people. So
Yeah,
I'm
that's
wondering
true.
how
That's
did they
true.
get that to do that?
So the design team, let's see, back then, so I worked for BMW from 94 to through the end of 2000 through 2001. And, it's a pretty small team. I was in a small studio in California. There's only 5 of us.
Yeah.
Back in Munich, then there were, 30 designers or something like that.
Okay.
And, a lot of guys, quite frankly, are designing door handles and wheels and stuff like that and don't do much more than that. But there is a DNA that runs through, and everyone just kind of lives in this same stew. So whether you're a bike designer or a car designer, a lot of those, that strand of DNA, you're kind of living in that. BMW does a really good job with living their brand. So when you walk in their buildings, their development center, you feel like you're inside of a BMW. They do that really well. So you it comes out of you eventually.
So let's get back to the 1150 GS adventure. Can you tell us what do you start with? So, you brought to the table, let's do an adventure version. So the GS already existed.
Yeah, we were working on, had just started the next generation GS, right? So it was a brand new boxer engine. Everything was ground up on that thing. And we're looking at the current GS, and it's been out there, really popular bike. Obviously, it's a great bike, but a little long in the tooth. And it was about 4 years probably before this next generation would hit the streets. So we're thinking about what we could do, myself and a buddy, Edgar Heinrich, who runs BMW motorcycles now, at least design, who did a stint at Bajaj, interestingly enough.
Cool.
Yeah, and came back to head up BMW motorcycles. But Edgar likes to ride off-road too, and we do a bunch of trial stuff together. And
cool.
And so and at the time, I can't remember what year that was, probably 99, 98, 99, but we were really hot in Paris-Dakar, and BMW was still invested in Paris-Dakar. I think we had 5 riders that year.
Right.
KTM was really trying to make a mark. I think they put 300 factory riders in that race.
Wow.
BMW, by the way, came in first, second, and third.
Yep.
And then fifth, and the 5th was Andrea Meyer, a woman. By the way. And then I can't remember what the other stats were. Anyway, still did really, really well. So we were all juiced up on rally at the time, and I'm just a guy who likes to get on a bike and stay on a bike, or always have. And so I love that globe-trotting, trips through Baja, stuff like that. So in a week to a month at a time on a bike is when I'm happiest, right? So looking at the GS, and we're like, okay, what could we do with this bike? And I always had this fantasy of like, what is a 2-wheeled Land Rover like Defender, right?
Right.
Just a really kind of brutal aesthetic, to be honest. Wasn't about being pretty, but what is a functional bike that you could theoretically buy off the showroom floor and take off for 2-3 months, 2-3 years if you wanted to. Nothing like that existed. So I just started doing some sketches in my own time while I'm working on these other projects. it was pretty interesting. We started showing those sketches around, and people got really excited. And next thing you know, it turned into a production bike. So that, for me, that was the coolest thing about that project. Not that it's the greatest bike in the world or anything, but it started that whole adventure line for BMW. It was the first one, and it didn't come from some marketing document. It wasn't, market analysis or stats or anything. It was two guys who loved to ride in the dirt and
came from bikers
adventure riding.
It came from bikers doing biker shit.
No shit.
Yeah,
it was
that's awesome, dude.
Yeah. Bikers designing bikes for bikers, basically.
Totally.
So do you start with an existing bike and you start pulling parts off?
In that case, yeah, definitely. So we're looking at the Boxer engine, and there were certain things I had to carry over that I wasn't really happy with because they're really expensive,
Was it
right?
the beak?
Yeah, the Schnabel, it's called. Yeah, that thing that bizarre thing that hangs over the front wheel. You're like, what the hell is that for? It actually is functional. It creates a lot of downforce over the front wheel, and it draws air into the oil cooler there. So it's actually there for a reason. But then, so it kind of gotten shortened over the years. But yeah, it's still there because it's kind of iconic for the GS.
Yeah. Well, all these bikes have them now. All the adventure bikes from Triumph and all those bikes, they have the Schnabel.
Yeah, they got the Schnabel. You got your Schnabel?
Yeah.
Ask them how their Schnabel's doing next time you see somebody. Say,
So I've seen.
hey, nice Schnabel. Sorry, I couldn't help but notice your Schnabel.
I remember seeing.
I see your Schnabel is as big as mine.
I remember seeing pictures of your process, and if I recall, you're sketching while somebody's next to you with clay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's later in the development. It's funny, we were talking about the Schnabel, but you asked what came first. And the first thing I was doing was, somebody mentioned napkin sketches. That shit's real. I mean, we draw all the time. Designers draw all the time. I draw every day. It's a commitment I make to myself. It doesn't necessarily mean it's a vehicle or anything, but I draw every day. And these really loose kind of silhouette sketches were the first ones I did. And the reason I did that was because I took the Schnabel off the thing because I was fired up on the rally bikes, right? And that rally aesthetic is real, a lot of windscreen, wind protection, right? And you got that blunt front end, and so I took the Schnabel off that thing, and it was a big political deal. So I did these sketches with a shorter one and the longer one, and it was really about setting up the gesture. So if you imagine, a bike backlit at night, and so you don't see any detail, you don't see any color, but does it still capture an essence that's BMW?
Yeah.
Right. And that's the goal. And you can accomplish that in a tiny little sketch, or when you do it all in black,
It's like Batman, right? You see Batman's outline, it's fucking Batman.
Right. Right. Thank God, or he'd never show up when they shine the light.
Exactly. That's cool, man.
So the first sketches are pretty crude and funky. I mean, usually, and then in this case, it was a carryover drivetrain and stuff. But we knew we wanted to do a couple things. Being wanted it to be a 2-up bike, but it was primarily like single rider. We could get a passenger on the back in a pinch if you wanted to, right? But you kind of had to accommodate somebody on the back. But that production seat wasn't really dialed for long distance riding with a passenger.
So that ties into something that I remember you saying that I've always been fascinated with, one of the Easter eggs on the bike. If you all look at the picture of it, there's that rear grab bar that protrudes off the back of the seat.
Called the hand grip.
The hand grip.
Or hand grip.
So that's designed for that would be designed for 2-up riding.
Yeah.
But there's something special with that.
Yeah, and there's a lot of legal safety requirements
so
around that
thing. A lot of people don't realize that.
Yeah, and so it's really, they're hard to work with, but you have to have it on there. And
this is for the German requirements, I take it?
Global, because you kind of you have to design for a global market, which is really tough because guys like Canada has their own set of rules and regulations. This goes for cars and motorcycles, and you have to work around this stuff. So, given that every continent or sometimes country will have their own set of requirements. It really confines you as a designer, unfortunately. But anyway, on that thing, on the hand grip, the thing about BMW, whether it be cars or motorcycles, there is something about like these Easter eggs or these little hidden surprises, having a place for everything and everything in its place. That is BMW. But if you can hide a little cool secret thing that's discoverable once you have the product, like in a car, I don't know, you've owned the car 3 months and you discover there's a flashlight buried in the glove box or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool. And you develop this relationship to the car and you can tell somebody, hey, did you know, fill in the blank. Well, I don't think anyone ever found this Easter egg on this one. But that hand grip actually is a stupid little thing, but it actually took a lot of development to design that thing to look good. But if there's 2 bolts underneath, you just pull it out and flip it 180 and suddenly your rear rack, if you don't have a box on it, becomes twice as big. So you can get a ton of gear on the back of that thing, and use the grip and it's got little holes in it that you could thread strap.
But you can't promote it because it needs to be a 2-up bike. Yep. But that's a little. Yeah. I thought that was so fascinating that there's designers who are thinking of these things.
Everybody who owns one of these is running out to their garage right now.
Yeah, right.
with the
Flip the grab bar around.
Yeah.
It's made to do that.
Yeah.
As an owner of a non-adventure version of this bike you're talking about, when I look at that seat, moving away from the 2-piece to this 1-piece is a huge statement.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't, say enough about how, just what a huge statement that was to the entire BMW Boxer community when they said, look, here's a solo seat.
Yeah. Well, hopefully that's a good thing.
Yeah. But I mean,
but for me, I'm a dirt biker as a kid, and so it's got a little bit of that, MX flavor to it. So,
so what else did you change? Is the tank changed?
Yeah. So actually, the tank's kind of when you look at this and you say, okay, we're going to take the GS and we're going to make this globe trotter out of it. In fact, I wanted to call the bike Terremoto. I worked in Italy for 4 years, and Terremoto means earthquake in Italian, but terra means earth, right? And moto, I just thought it was cool, but the German marketing army didn't get it. And adventure tells the story. You call it an adventure, everyone knows what the bike is, so it probably makes more sense. But so you're going through the list of things you want it to do. You want hard boxes. You want, like PIA lights on it. I wanted PIA lights. I wanted Touratech boxes. I want all these things on it. And obviously you need more fuel on this thing. So we decided, okay, we're going to put 4 more liters in this tank. So I had to design a new tank. And not having taken an existing tank and tried to design for volume, it was like, well, none of us knew. How do you know when it's 4 liters bigger? Because you do these things in sketches, and then you're working with guys who are sculpting clay, and it's like, is that 4 liters bigger? I don't know. So what we did is we
make one and measure it.
Well, we took the clay, because it comes in these pipes. It's an oil-based clay that you do the modeling and the sculpting with, and we just kept we took a big vat of water, and we put the clay in until we displaced 4 liters worth, and then we kind of had a visual kind of impression of that, and then we made sure we saved all the scraps and didn't, so we knew. I mean, it was really analog and low tech, but we actually got 4 liters.
My question as a designer, what are the biggest design challenges that come up typically when you're designing a motorcycle? I mean, I know it's really big question, but for
global corporation,
they're more
able to say no.
They're more corporate issues and cost. And honestly, it's cost. But here's the beauty. On that bike, and it was so under the wire, the development. I just personally called PIA, and since I had a BMW email address, I said, can you send me some lights? Because I know if I get your lights and I plug them on this bike, they'll get juiced up. And I called Touratech and I said, can you send me some boxes? I want to, your boxes are bitching. I just want these things on there.
So you're basically laying the blueprint for those products. And it's like, hey, I know these will work great. let's put them on here. Maybe see the BMW owners will buy them too, kind of thing.
And then the bean counters come in and go, we can't afford to put those on. We need to develop our own, blah, 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 which we did. But, you know, and they weren't nearly as bulletproof or as cool as I thought, you know, because when you think of that, you know, the Land Rover Defender kind of jerry can aesthetic, that was sort of my image of what this thing needed to be. It wasn't about, like, the beauty comes through and how brutal it is, pure right?
Function,
and it's pure function.
And so it was cost. It's always typically cost.
Typically.
You do something cool and they're like, sorry, dude, nope, that needs to be like.
And it's fractions of a cent that you're fighting for on this stuff.
Yeah.
And yet we anodize the rims.
Yeah, you know. So there goes the logic. You know,
very good on that one.
But it looks bitchin'. So
it does look bitchin'.
Yeah. So I made comment earlier about how you're sketching, and there's literally somebody next to you with a bike like chassis and they're laying on clay. And I mean, just the concept that you're sketching and then you're watching it happen in 3D. You had your own 3D printer, basically.
Yeah, but they're humans, you know.
You got to feed them.
And like, the process has changed a lot over the years, but with rapid prototyping and stuff, but still with vehicles, whether it be cars or motorcycles, particularly when it comes to large surfaces, tanks, fenders, you know, windscreens, there's no better way than to just get in there and sculpt it. And that's what we do in the wind tunnel and the wind tunnel testing, because we're in there with clay. Honestly, we're using duct tape and board and things like that. And we'll set things up and get it in the tunnel with smoke, and then you study it. And I mean, as a designer, you just kind of look at the turbulence and somebody else actually makes sense of it from a wind resistance standpoint. But you know, we were trying to minimize the buffeting, the head buffeting, and minimize noise impact. And so the windscreen's bigger.
The winglets were just a bunch of goofy designers sticking shit down there in a wind tunnel and said, "Let's try these pieces of paper over here," and hence came out the little tiny winglets that were below the screen.
A lot of that stuff is accidental.
Just totally like, let's try this.
Yeah. And the beautiful thing at BMW, where the wind tunnel is, the test track is right outside, so you can be. I mean, this is honestly the best days of my life. Like being in the tunnel and then going out on this track and riding, because they have everything there. They've got, you know, it's a test track for cars and bikes. So they do this crosswind test stuff where they have like these 3 turbine jet engines at the side of the track. So you ride into this thing and get this it's
blasted
weird.
by 100 miles an hour wind.
You have the this cool luxury of like thinking of something, building it, and actually getting to ride it. Like that connection is there, because a lot of people design it and then let other people test it, and some other group do whatever, but you get to think of it, build it, and like mess with it.
Well,
that's pretty awesome.
Speaking of that, there was another really cool inline motorcycle concept that you designed.
Well, we were working on it. Things didn't go so well.
So can you just kind of describe, would you call it streamlined?
Yeah, you know, concept vehicles, you're probably familiar with them, like show cars and things like that. And you'll see show bikes and stuff like that. And the intent of those things oftentimes is to just put something out, and it's a kind of a marketing machine, draw attention to the brand, whatever. Or sometimes it's to set the tone for next generation of look and feel for products that are coming out. In this case, I don't know where the idea came from. It wasn't mine, to be honest. But we've seen stuff like this before, but it was a lane splitter. So you think about LA traffic, you take the fast lane in LA and you split it down the middle. So it's good for 2-wheel vehicles. You can't get a wide track in there. For example, that Polaris thing you guys were in today, you could not ride in it. But if you, this was an enclosed concept. So 1 wheel up front, 1 wheel in back, very long wheelbase, which is hairy. And enclosed, driver up front. And the concept was sort of this chauffeur driven enclosed 2-wheel motorcycle thing.
It's a fighter jet without the wings.
Right. And it had these like outrigger wheels on the side. So it's kind of a diamond footprint for the wheelbase. And which is
And are you guys pulling parts off the shelf to kind of put this together?
Yeah, we were building it off a Boxer engine, and it was cool in concept, but always a little sketchy. But and the guy I think that came up with it was just a guy in the shop in R&D who was tinkering, and someone saw this crude little model he built, and it was interesting, but they wanted a designer on it. So my boss asked me to drive it and do the interior exterior design for this thing. And we had built a mule, which is basically just a tubular frame with the drivetrain in it, so you could test it. And you do this through certain stages of development. And we were out doing straight line testing with this thing, and had a bad day. Brakes went out. The thing flipped.
Were you the last rider of the day?
I was the last rider, but nobody had slept. It was one of those classic, thing. It's so unfortunate event. It wasn't high speed or anything. It just wouldn't stop.
Right.
And so we had it locked upright. It wasn't leaning yet. We weren't at that stage. And we had United Technologies, which is a huge technologies company. They do Otis elevators, Sikorsky helicopter.
Yeah,
they're serious. They do all the fly-by-wire stuff, and we were working with them back in those days. And they were doing the intelligence of the thing, but we hadn't plugged that in yet. This was still pretty crude. But anyway, the thing at about 10 miles an hour just went over, and we were all tired and forgot to put in kind of the netting on the side, and I think instinctively I put my arm down, and it went over on my arm and mutilated my arm, unfortunately. So that put an end to that project. Wow. And nearly my career as a designer, because my right arm is cooked basically, but I learned to draw again with it.
So your arm got fixed up, sort of, kind of.
Yeah.
It works.
Yeah.
You're able to operate a
pick
clutch?
my nose. I could pick my nose. Actually, no. That was the thing. Like, it was a long process of a lot of surgeries and stuff to put my arm back together. And
we can rebuild him.
Yeah, it was literally like that. Yeah, I could show you pretty grisly pictures, but one of the things they gave me, because everything in the dorsal side of my forearm, meaning the top of my forearm's gone, all the muscles, tendons, everything's gone, so I couldn't open my hand. I can close my hand, but I couldn't open it. So they made this custom like strap for my arm that had all these springs on the back of my hand that went to these little stirrups over my fingers, so it would hold my hand open all the time, and then I could close it, and if I relaxed my hand, my fingers would open up again. And so
they give you steel tendons.
Yeah, they did. External steel tendons. It looked so bitchin', but what looked really bitchin' was when I cut that thing apart and shortened it and made it a motorcycle glove.
He can build it better.
That's awesome.
I was riding with this thing because I didn't care if I could open a door, but I needed to get to that clutch, right?
Yeah.
So
it was about the bikes, right?
Yeah.
Minor prosthetics.
Yeah.
So
Break.
That's how you were able to ride when you went down to Baja for your adventure?
No, I think by that time my arm was pretty well put together. I don't think I had that external thing stuck on my arm anymore. But yeah, that was only for about 3 months. But that was 3 months of riding time. I couldn't wait for those surgeries. So, yeah.
So in just a short story, you took a trip, an adventure trip to Baja to go ride BMWs with some friends.
Yeah, this was right after I designed that first adventure. And so the kind of design phase was done, and now they're cutting tools and doing everything they had to do. And the designer's sort of out of the picture for the last year or something, because not much more we can contribute to that phase. But so I never rode the production version, just kind of pre-prototypes. But anyway, prior to it, just a couple months before it coming out, went down to Baja with some friends. We were going to Cabo, rode from Santa Cruz here, and I got to Bahia San Ignacio. I don't know if you guys know where that is. About 600 miles south of the border, and I just went down on a dirt road, not an exciting accident, but the fishing me out of Baja was an exciting story. It took about 24 hours to get to a hospital, but I broke my back. That was it. So I'm in a chair now. Yeah.
So
it happens.
But it doesn't stop you because you already had another job lined up.
I had just started at Indian Motorcycle, so I was a director of design for Indian. I had been there 2 weeks. It was one of those things where they said, "Do you want to start? We need you to start right now." I said, "Can I start in a month? Because in 2 weeks I go to Baja." And they said, "Well, come and start. We need you here 2 weeks. Take 2 weeks off." My 2 weeks off turned into 8 months because it took a while to patch me up and get me back in the studio.
But they were cool with that.
They held,
right back.
They said he's not dead. He's just broken. He's coming back. We're holding his spot.
You can still draw with
I totally respect that and appreciate that.
So how did the design aesthetics change for you? I mean, what was the challenge from there, from being able to I get to build my dream dirt bike, now I'm doing cruisers?
That was hard because that's just not my kind of riding. I was never that guy. So, but as a designer, that's your job, right? Yeah. Your job isn't only to design products that you love, but you need to put yourself in someone else's shoes.
Well, and with BMW, that's a name that's on top.
Yeah.
This is Indian that's making its comeback.
Yeah. It was
been down and out.
100-year-old startup, basically, right?
Yeah.
And you've got something to prove. You want a piece of market.
It's funny the way it came up. I was at Intermot, which is a big motorcycle show in Munich, and I was working at BMW at the time, and then I saw they had a presence there. They had a stand, and I was just so moved as an American and having a love and passion for that brand. You just can't not. And cool. And so I went up to him and just said, "Man, I'm so glad to see you guys out here. Good luck." And next thing you know, they're calling me, and I wound up working for them. So I left this safety and security of BMW to roll the dice to go work with a biker gang in Gilroy.
So that pushed your your design limits, or your sometimes as a designer they give you a box, you got to design within that box, and sometimes they'll give you a triangle or something, and you get to do something different.
And I'd like to point out he started working from his hospital bed.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, thank God. I had actually that was probably the biggest gift is that they said, you're coming back. We're waiting for you. And because I felt obligated, I didn't want to stop, and it gave me something to focus on and not feel sorry for myself. Right. But man, I got shit to do. I can't just sit here. So I started recruiting. I had just gotten that job. I started recruiting designers from my hospital bed, and flew a guy in from Sweden, Ola Stenegard, who's now Ola. If you know motorcycle design, Ola. He was a student of mine when I was teaching at Art Center. Ola came out. We were tight. Hired him. By the time I got out of the hospital and rehab, we started in Gilroy together. In that period of time when I wasn't there, we got Chip Foose, who's also a friend of mine, who came in to do some bike work. Chip knows bikes, although we know him as a hot rod guy. So thank God, you just rely on your
Chip
buddies.
Was involved in that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, for a while, and he did really great work and kind of saved my ass by
you're bringing in ringers, basically.
Well, it's nice to know they're out there, but Ola came in and we worked together, and then he was ready to make a move and went to BMW, and he's working with Edgar now. So it's like one big happy family, right?
So you're taking Indian, which is a traditional, it has a look.
Mm-hmm.
How far out of the box can you go with something like this? They want everyone to know it's an Indian from the silhouette, as you said.
Right.
So how much could you tweak or change?
Well, back then it was really kind of a parts bike, right? We're building with S&S motors and stuff, and working on our own engines. So we did. Luckily, I got to design an engine while I was there with them. But we're doing valve covers and stuff like that to kind of decorate, existing engines and stuff to build a bike. Because it takes years to go through a full development process for a new product or new platform, especially when you're talking about drivetrain development. It's a lot of time and money. So, you're sculpting fenders and fuel tanks and things like that. And designing pipes and you're designing a lot of parts and seats and bags and windscreens and things like that. But it's more of a puzzle. Whereas like if you're designing a ground up bike, a place like BMW or Honda or something else, or even Indian now, right? Well, under Polaris, they got deep pockets with Polaris and they can start and just say, well, what if it looked like this, and change proportions and everything. So it was a pretty tight, a lot of constraints around it.
So you were head designer on that?
Yeah.
So are you the one who's working with the budget? I mean, are you like...
Yeah, back then,
were you that guy then?
You know, it was so fly by the seat of your pants back then. I don't think they even knew how much it cost to build a bike. Most of the deals were handshake stuff out of the back of the shop, and parts would come and go off of trucks, and a lot of weird shit happened back in those days.
What were some of the more interesting stories or experiences you had that you noted when you moved from a company like BMW, had like the system and all the support, and then you jumped into Indian?
So let me paint a picture for you. So when you're at BMW and you work in design at BMW, you are in this inner sanctum. You are like in the underground layer. To get into the design studio, if you worked for marketing or if you were a product manager and if I was designing a bike that you were financially responsible for and you wanted to come to the studio to see it, you have to make an appointment. I meet you outside. Wow. You are escorted in, and when you are escorted into the studio, everything is covered. Everything, every sketch, everything but the product you're there to see is covered. Everyone stops working, crosses their arms, looks at you like they're pissed at you because they kind of are, because they can't get anything done while you're there until you leave.
That's
and
cool.
Then you have your conversation, you leave, everyone, the covers come off, everyone gets back to work.
So they fully
That's
respect
like BMW.
They fully respect the designer and the development guys.
Well, the reality for them is, because development times are so long, 4 years on a bike sometimes, that if anything got leaked, the implications are huge, right? If you get spy photos or something, it's a big deal. So contrast that to Indian, where it was very much like this shop. It's like it's just a bunch of people just trying to get it done, and which I loved that. That was a big draw for me because it was so raw and so real,
free form,
and it was real bikers building bikes for bikers. It was the real deal, no shit. But at BMW, very proper, it's corporate. I contrast that to Indian, where I saw a guy with SS tattoos on his neck reach for a knife and told the CEO he's going to cut his fucking throat. That is a true story.
Wow. In the boardroom.
I never saw fist fights in the shop at BMW. Saw a lot of those. You stop even looking up.
Wow.
There was a lot of stress back then too. Yeah. So I don't know. And it was interesting time.
Interesting
for sure.
Stories.
Yeah. So it was like, these two different planets. I took some adjustment for that.
How long were you at Indian?
3 years.
Yeah.
And actually, we were launching 5 new bikes. I'd redesigned the corporate identity or the logos. I'd done apparel. I was doing all kinds of stuff.
I didn't even think of that.
Accessories,
so you're doing logos and bikes. I mean, it's...
logos, bikes, T-shirts, pants, jackets, pipes.
You're the head motherfucker.
Stickers, redesigning interiors for the new dealerships, redesigning the signs for dealerships. I mean, this is like soup to nuts, everything.
You're
all marketing collateral, all kinds of stuff.
Corporate identity at that point. You're badging the whole deal.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's the whole everything. When you think about design, it's like the emotional package that when it relates to aesthetics, really, and I think that's holistic. You got to look at the whole thing. You can't just look at the bikes. And for me back then, those are back in the glory days of, well, I shouldn't say glory days because that's really the 70s, but for customs and cruisers and stuff. But that resurgence and how hot things were in the late 90s, early 2000s. But let's face it, most of those guys were like weekend riders. It's kind of, I think of like LA and my time like riding up to the Rock store and stuff. And these guys are only out and they got their chaps on that they wear on Sunday, and which is cool. But those were the guys buying those bikes back then, and that's the money that the marketing guys were chasing. And for me, what I wanted to bring back, or my intention with Indian, was the good old days of the board trackers, right?
Yeah.
And like the strong, silent type, not the show us your tits, kind of thing. But like, I want that, like those colors and like real leather seats and real leather bags. And that's what I was hoping to bring in. And if you can see that in the identity, and I got to take my hat off to the guys at Polaris, because they've picked up on those cues and they're really trying to work that. Very from cool. What I've seen. That's so, cool. But it was kind of back then when we were together, most people were saying, man, if we could get 10% of Harley's share, we're living large. Right. And so it was like, what would Harley do? Let's just do what they do. And to me, that was the biggest mistake, because Indian, was founded in 1901 or 1901. And anyway, a year they edged out Harley, right? They're the oldest American motorcycle brand. So that's holy, man. You don't fuck with that. You honor that and create your own identity. Stand up for who you want to be.
You wanted to bring the look to people that rode their bike everywhere just because they could. Yeah. Versus the guys that rolled it out of the garage on a Sunday and went down to the Harley shop. Yeah. Right. And oh, by the way, now that we're like 3/4 of the way through this, profanity is okay, I'm guessing.
Oh, yes. Oh, shit, man. Shit, yeah.
Well, what I like too is that, you're truly an artist. Like you said, you do a sketch a day.
Yeah, I draw every day.
And we didn't mention, prior to BMW, was it Fiat?
I was at Fiat for doing cars, obviously.
Nice. Doing cars, and now you're here in Santa Cruz at Plantronics.
Plantronics, yeah.
So not even vehicles, but that's truly an artist. Is there anything you can't design?
Yeah, sure.
Waste management.
Waste management. There it is. There it is. Nice. Yeah. It's funny though, is that, when I broke my back and found myself in a chair, I started to use headsets, because a guy like me, I can't go from here to 10 feet away on the phone.
Right.
Like hands-free for me means something. So I was doing bikes, and even after Indian blew up, I was doing some contract work with BMW and Victory and a bunch of places. And then I got this cold call from a recruiter about Plantronics, and I've never done anything but vehicles my whole life, but it resonated with me because of that whole thing. And I thought maybe because of my situation, I might be able to bring a little bit to this story.
Would you say that's an advantage? Would you say your disability is an advantage to designing like hands-free devices, like accessibility devices?
I like to think so. I don't really, I just don't live. It's weird. I'm physically in this chair, but in my head, I don't live in this chair.
Right.
I don't even think of myself that way. So it's a really good question. I just it has. I don't know. That was the thoughts going into it. It's like, maybe I have an acuity for this because of my situation. Maybe I'll have some insights or something different I could lend to it because it means more to me.
Right.
I have a little bit different perspective now that we had last week. We had Adam here, who I mentioned was a C4, C5 quadriplegic with limited function of one arm. Yeah. You're quite capable.
Yeah. I got a high level of injury, so I'm paralyzed from the nipple line down, which means like a no feeling, I'm a T4 complete, they call it. So I can't move or feel anything. I broke my toe 2 weeks ago. I didn't even know, and for like 8 hours until I took my shoe off. I'm like, well, that's different. So, but to a guy like Adam, he looks at me and goes, I don't know. I look at double amputees. I'm so jealous. So there's this like, man, those things are cool. I want to strap those on. But it's different for everybody. We all have different limitations, right, in our life. Whether you have had a bad accident and it's left you limited in some way or not. Like,
do you have any want or plans to get back on a bike? Because I've been seeing a lot of videos of guys doing that.
There's more and more stuff like that all the time. And certainly in the early days, like for the first, I don't know, maybe 10 years, my response to that question would have been, if I found out I could walk in 5 minutes, I'd be on a bike in 10. But since I've had kids too, and honestly, my focus has shifted, and it's not that I'm afraid to be on a bike because I have kids. It's just that my head's in a different place and all my energy's going into that. But in the early days, we were working on outriggers and trike concepts and stuff in the R&D shop over at Indian, and everyone was really, it's bikers. Everyone wants to help and figure that stuff out. And then we kind of dropped a bunch of stuff midway when Indian folded, and then since it just hasn't been a priority for me, but I've got some little doom buggies and stuff. I get out in the dirt and
you still have
get my yayas out.
So we're getting almost time to wrap up. There's one last thing I wanted to make a call back to. Actually, I haven't called it yet, so not a callback. But Douglas, I think you'll like this. So when you were at BMW, I think when you were leaving, or some of the guys there made a gift for you.
Oh, it was a gift for a friend of mine. Edgar.
You know what I'm talking about?
I think I do. The walker?
Yes.
Yeah. So Eddie's the man. He is the coolest, most talented guy you can possibly imagine. And he loves walkers and robots, and he sketches all the time. And so that's kind of what we always did in meetings. And even though he's like the man at BMW now, I promise you he's sketching in meetings and not paying attention to what anyone says.
He's like drawing dicks and shit.
He's drawing half-naked women or totally naked women on bikes and robot walker things.
Nice. That's cool. Describe this thing. How tall was it?
Well, it was a kind of internal project. We do these like design challenges where had nothing to do with like developing for shits and giggles. Yeah. And this one year, we were sitting around and doing sketches of a walker. And so in concept, what this thing was, and I have some sketches of it, it's a boxer engine and with a cruiser tank, a BMW cruiser tank, and then basically strip everything else off. But if you can imagine like you know how
I
flamingos and stuff, their legs bend back, the knees
like
bend backwards.
I thought it looked like a mechanical tauntaun.
I don't know what that is.
You mean like
Star Wars.
An Imperial Walker?
Oh, right.
The two-legged ones from the
exactly. So it's got that thing where the knees bend, and the concept of that thing was that
why not just say an ATSD?
It would lay down and you climb on it.
Right.
And it
No. You sat on it like a tauntaun.
Tauntaun's the animal.
I know.
Right.
It was shaped like that. It had a seat on it.
With a seat with a boxer motor.
With two legs.
Yeah.
It was like a tauntaun.
Yeah.
And it was made with all motorcycle parts.
Yes.
No way.
Yeah, it was like this big sculpture that you could actually crawl
control
on.
it and everything. Like,
well, no, it was a sculpture.
How far down the road before it kills you?
Yeah. All it has to do is fall over and you be in the wrong.
But imagine this. I think it was like the pumpkin and a drive from our bike was like the thigh bone, I think.
Well,
right?
the one that you saw, I shared some pictures with. So I did.
Yeah.
We built a crude kind of model in the studio, and the legs and stuff were all sketches and stuff we put together and kind of hogged it together. But when Eddie left to go to Bajaj in India, he took off for 2 years. And I had already left by that time. So basically the whole motorcycle team, the R&D team, and the designers got together and they built a real one for him. Now it didn't walk because that's a little more complicated.
Right.
But the thing looked insane. Total movie quality, like, robot walker
209 looking thing.
Can you imagine being at BMW and just going and pulling parts off the shelf to fabricate a robot?
Or ordering them.
Yeah.
Hey, this will make a perfect foot.
Yeah.
Stop marketing to stay out. I'm making a fucking robot.
Yeah.
That's why y'all were covering shit with sheets when
Exactly. Because no one's doing any real work.
Just messing around in here.
It's top secret. You can't see it.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, before we wrap up, is there any last thing you want to share or mention?
Is your up the butt bike?
Okay, we need to explain.
Let's preface this. with so the Up the Butt bike is a bike that you would do anything for.
Yeah. I think it would be a Parilla.
Parilla?
Yeah. Like a vintage cafe. Have to do a lot of custom work on it, but yeah.
All right, we'll have to Google that up.
Yeah. I'm going to have to Google that. I'm not sure.
Parilla, right? Parilla.
I'm not familiar.
Parilla.
Yeah.
I will have to. I'll have to look that up.
You know it. You know
I'm
it.
sure you.
I'm sure some of our listeners know.
I love that it's not perfect enough. Like you'd have to modify it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Isn't that kind of
That's sort of the deal, right?
The idea?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what you do. Well, awesome. Thank you again, Darrin, for coming. I really appreciate
Thanks, man.
it.
Appreciate it.
The world that you live in, it's fascinating. It's behind closed curtains, and the fact that you let us take a peek, inside your past is just amazing.
Or I'd have to say a flat track or a 750.
Yeah, flat trackers are awesome. We get the XS 750 flat tracker right here.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to say, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, and again, if you ever want to just come hang out and just see what we're doing, I mean,
I will. Now I know where you guys are, and you've invited me before, and yeah.
We don't necessarily have to put you to work. A lot of people just come sit and drink beer and point at things.
Tell everyone else they're doing it wrong.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
But you may enjoy it because a lot of things are doing, like, we mentioned that Zach is building a battery box out of some sheets of stainless that my neighbor pulled out of his garage. They were lining the walls and they're pulled down in ribbons. And we use whatever we have here. Or like how Mason has a pull switch from like a fan on his bike. We just get creative. And that's the whole point of Recycle
awesome.
is to just use what we have and challenge ourselves and just have fun and creative.
Well, I love the space, and thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming, man. It's really good.
And as a
stuff.
Yeah, sorry, good. As a graphic designer, thanks for coming out and talking to us about design and stuff, because that's a mind blower for me too.
Yeah.
So
well, cool. Well, hey, Nog, can you tell people how to reach us?
You can reach us at recyclemotorcyclegarage@gmail.com. Find us on Facebook at /Recycle Garage.
Recycle Santa Cruz.
Santa Cruz.
Recycle Santa Cruz, yeah. And the call-in number where you could call in and
order a pizza.
She hates that so much.
I know.
And leave an intro or tell us what your At the Butt bike is.
831.
Oh, 831-291-5112.
And I really appreciate everyone in the past who called and left an intro for us.
Dude, whoever left that Arnold Schwarzenegger one was spot on. It was great.
Well,
I laughed so hard.
I will tell you that it was a misfit.
Really?
We did it, but I haven't told anyone who that misfit
You said California
is.
like perfect.
California. It was perfect.
Get to the chopper.
Now that you say it, it kind of sounds
Say
like...
that again?
Get to the chopper.
Oh, no, it was bagel. Oh, man.
Do it now.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
I must have listened to that intro like 50 times.
Kill me now.
I'm glad you liked it.
So, yeah, please give us a call at 831-291-5112 and leave us an intro.
Give us your best
them.
Lucas laugh. Oh, and Quentin, that one sucked. Do it again.
All right. Thanks again for coming, Darrin, and everyone for listening, and also people who have gone on to iTunes and rated us. It really helps us. We see them. We read them.
Thanks, yo.
So wrapping up, this is Liza.
Doug.
This is Doc.
Jim.
Josh.
I am Zach.
Caddes.
I'm Bagel.
And we out.
Cool.
All right.